Welcome back to the show. We are celebrating International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Now, our guest co-host today has a daughter called Ruby who has Down syndrome and autism. As a mom, she has made a massive impact when it comes to highlighting the barriers to true inclusion that both people with disabilities and their families face every single day. Please welcome to the show Inclusivity advocate Stephanie Hamilton. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here.
Stephanie, from mother to mother, I have a beautiful, happy, healthy, active 7-year-old daughter. And being a single mom, that comes with its own set of challenges. But I can sit here and complain all day about some of the blessings and challenges that come with that, but nothing would compare to some of the daily struggles that parents of children with disabilities have to endure almost on a daily basis. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and Ruby?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to acknowledge what you just said about, I love the word that you used, the word blessing. I think this is a really beautiful word to use when you talk about people of determination. I always say there's a challenge and there's a gift in every one of us. And I think inclusion, part of inclusion is highlighting that we all have gifts and challenges, right? In terms of Ruby, so Ruby was born with Down syndrome. She was later diagnosed with autism during the 2019 Special Olympics. So I noticed she was with other children with Down syndrome, and I noticed there was something a little bit different. I'd known for a while, and I really just, pursued my gut instinct. As a mother, we have these gut instincts, right? I pursued this gut instinct, and she got diagnosed with autism as well as having Down syndrome. She did go on to win 2 medals in that Olympics for the UAE. She's also a gold medalist. She's a 2-time Olympian. But going into the struggle side of it, this is more of the triumph and the good moments that we have and that we celebrate. But going back to the challenges when we first moved back to Dubai in 2012, we had upwards of 40 rejections getting into mainstream school. So this was a challenge. However, one thing I will say is that, I spoke loudly through a photography campaign. I wanted this voice to be heard that, we're all the same. We see the same sun, in the morning, we all see the same sunrise, right? We all, walk on the same streets. So my point about this was, okay, why can we not go to the same school? This is the point. And one thing I'll say about Dubai that's incredible is that if your voice is strong enough and your point is very clear, they really listen. And I'm very proud to say that I was the parent voice for KHDA's education inclusion policy because of this campaign. Yeah. It really came to the forefront.
I mean, absolutely, Stephanie. I think I can say that you have been a blessing because you've taken a challenge and you've turned it into a blessing for not just Ruby and yourself, but so many families in the UAE, especially with the KHDA, with the Inclusivity framework. What are some of the biggest challenges early on that you had to face as a mother and as somebody who's trying to launch something in a country where there wasn't really a framework to begin with?
So I think the challenge that I see continually with myself and Ruby and other parents and their children is, to highlight the strength, to see the strength rather than the, let's say, the deficit, as some people might say. But, we all have, like I said before, my main message is we all have strengths, we all have challenges. And I think that there's just this, I think it's human nature to judge, first of all. And I think that breaking through that barrier, is probably one of the biggest challenges. It's almost like you have to have this voice that's so much louder to be heard because, there's this judgment already. So you have to somehow chip away at this. How do we how do we remove this? And just see the person for who the person is. And I think that's, for me personally, I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges.
It's true. I wanted to ask you about, because you have a major role in the Dubai Inclusive Framework and KHDA. I wanted to know more about the policies that you've helped putting in place and how are they helping families just like yours?
Okay, so I'll make it clear that I didn't put the policy in place. I was a catalyst as a parent.
You helped launch.
I was part of that energy that moved forward. Yeah. And sorry, what was the question again?
So I just wanted to know how are these policies helping families that are like yours?
So, I think it's opened a lot of doors. However, I will say, and I know that Dubai will take this as a another listening point is that there's still work to be done. When something's in its infancy, when it's new, we're always looking for improvements and to be better. Cost is a major barrier for families. A lot of children who go to school here in the UAE, they pay for their school fees and then they pay for an additional support teacher. And really, it's my dream before I leave Dubai that this changes. And I do believe that there is a possibility. There's always a solution for every problem, right?
True.
So I do think that, but it has opened the doors. It's like one step at a time. So it's opened the doors, and now we work on the rest.
Yeah.
Let's put a little bit more focus on the star of the show, that is Ruby. I want to know a little bit more about her. How old is she? And I want to definitely know a little bit more about her involvement in the Olympics and what has it meant for her, having that sense of achievement, and for you guys as a family, seeing that, celebrating that.
Thank you for asking that. Ruby is 18 and she is a fireball. I always say there's Down syndrome, there's autism, and then there's Ruby. So Ruby's got this, you can imagine her as it is. So participating in the Special Olympics in 2019, representing the UAE, was an incredible opportunity for Ruby. She also represented them in 2023 in Berlin and came home with a gold, a silver, and 2 bronze. Wow. So, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, just like any athlete, any athlete who's neurodiverse compared to, person of determination. It's practice, it's continuous effort, it's commitment, for the family as well, because I don't just send her off to the practice. I have to go to every practice as well, to make sure that she's, getting engaged and doing because a lot of times she didn't want to do it. And this Olympics, I really didn't think she was going to do achieve anything. I really honestly didn't, because she really wasn't into it.
Yeah.
But Ruby is one of those people that you put a camera in front of her or you get an audience in front of her, because she's really a performer. And that's where she shines. And as a family, it's incredible to be able to celebrate that and witness that, because so many challenges along the way to get to that point. So this is like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I mean, Stephanie, it must be, I know with a lot of things, once there's a slow progression, you don't really think about it, but do you ever reflect on when she was a child and she was born with Down syndrome, and then finding out about the autism, and then seeing what she's managed to do today? Like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I feel like what you said about it being like incremental and small steps along the way, I think that's actually the key. It's like any great person, any great entrepreneur, any great whatever you do that you're achieving, it's really showing up, and it's really about being consistent. And I think with Ruby, that's one thing that she has as a strength as well. And I also really feel that the support system of the UAE was incredible. I can honestly not thank them enough for the support they gave when the kids were traveling, to the support they gave for the training, for everything. It was just phenomenal.
And of course to Ruby for being so strong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the thing. She's, at the end of the day, it takes grit and determination to get to a gold medal.
Well, I'm sure you're very proud of her. I'm sure she's very proud of you as well. And
that sometimes remains to be seen.
well, we are going to have...
She's a teenager,
Yeah, well, we're so excited that you're going to be with us for the whole episode. We are going to invite someone else to join us very, very soon. We are going to be joined by an artist and savant who sees and interprets the world in a unique, non-conventional way.